What's going on, great people? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reacting to Neo and his comments and his opinion on the whole trans LGBTQ movement as it pertains to young kids. Now, he's been under the spotlight lately. Uh and he also, well, his publicist came out and issued an apology on his behalf. But Neo came out and said, you know what, scratch that. I didn't say that. That was my publicist. Here's how I feel. Now, I give Neo a lot of credit, man, for standing on principle, right? Because he said a lot of things that a lot of people are either scared to say in fear of being canceled, or people are quiet because they're a part of the agenda. And that agenda is simply to convince young kids, young children, that they are in the wrong body. Therefore, grooming them to make them feel that they need to have life altering surgeries that will switch up their body parts. So, if you have a son, or if there's a young boy that comes out and say, hey, tells his father and his mother, like, hey, I feel like a girl, and I would like to have surgery that removes certain body parts to make me feel more like a girl. Or if it's a young girl, your daughter, she comes to you and say, hey, I feel like a boy. So I would like to surgically remove certain body parts that will make me appear as a boy. Now, as parents should withhold the right to say, hey, I'm not allowing you to do this. I'm not allowing you to have surgery, life altering surgeries that may impact your future. We don't know the side effects of this stuff. And later on in life, you may end up regretting it because, as we all know, as kids, we go through certain phases. Now, this whole phase of thinking that you're in the wrong body and you was supposed to be born of the opposite sex. Now, this seems like a whole new phenomenon. Now, back when I was a kid, I'm not even that old. But I'm gonna say, back when I was a kid, man, we just focused on playing outside sports. Uh, as a young man, as a young boy, I was hanging with my guys, and we were, trying to get girls and talk to girls and playing sports and just, little trouble here and there outside, riding bikes, all type of activities outside. But it was never the pressure of trying to make us feel confused about who we are. Our parents weren't grooming us or putting this stuff in front of us like, hey, this gender ideology, as if one can be gender fluid. That was never the issue, when I was growing up. And people that are older than me, I'm pretty sure they can say the same thing. This whole gender fluid stuff has been ramped up lately for some reason. And me personally, I think it's another form of uh, population control, because if you can convince an entire generation that they're born in the wrong bodies, how can there be another generation after that? If you have girls switching themselves to boys and boys switching themselves to girls, how can they reproduce to even make future generations? So that's enough of my rant. Let's get into what Neo said about it before uh his publicist issued out an apology. Let's see what Neo is talking about.
I have no issue with the LBGT. I have no problem with with nobody. Okay,
Right.
love who you love, do what you do.
Exactly.
I just personally come from an era where a man was a man and a woman was a woman, and it wasn't but two genders, and that's just how I rocked.
Me
now,
too.
You could identify as a goldfish if you feel it.
Right.
I don't care.
And it's just that simple. A man is a man, a boy is a boy, a woman is a woman, a girl is a girl, and they're of the same sex per se. Because a young girl will grow up to be a woman, a young boy will grow up to be a man. So you have male and female. That's it. So I agree with him on that.
Yeah, that ain't my business. It becomes my business when you try to make me play the game with you. I'm not finna call you a goldfish, but you want to be a goldfish, you go be a goldfish. It's all
Amen.
Good. I mean, identify as a goldfish if you feel it.
Right.
I don't care. That ain't my business. It becomes my business when you try to make me play the game with you. I'm not finna call you a goldfish, but you want to be a goldfish, you go be a goldfish. It's all
Amen.
Good.
Notice what he said. It becomes my problem when you try to make me play the game with you. So that's the whole issue. Nobody cares. Like, love who you love. Do what you want to do in your bedroom. Identify what you want to identify as. But it becomes an issue when you try to impose this whole ideology on the entire society. Like, I've never seen heterosexual people, straight people, come out and just try to impose their will on society the way that LGBTQ and this whole trans movement is trying to do that. Like they even have a whole month. Like you see all types of businesses and stores and movies, everything. It's like they're trying to impose this on everyone and simply not caring about the feelings of people that don't identify with that, or people that don't even want to be included with that. They don't want no involvement with it, but yet you're still trying to impose this ideology on not only on people that's not identifying with it, but also the kids. And it's like an aggressive approach towards the kids, and that's the issue.
And
I mean, it's just, we live in a weird time, man. We do. We live in a time where a person will have a mental breakdown in front of their camera.
Right.
Wait, let me white balance it.
That's crazy, right?
What the hell is that? Like, if you are of sound mind enough to find the light,
right?
and
exactly.
Then break down,
exactly.
ain't nothing wrong with you.
Right. No, there is something wrong with you.
There's something wrong with you.
Right.
There ain't nothing wrong with you. Like, man.
Right. You're adding to it. It's not how we deal with life.
Yeah,
you know, and a lot of people want pity, self-pity. I don't like that.
That was one thing that was not allowed.
A lot of people want pity. Now that they've convinced majority of the society that masculinity is toxic and it's too aggressive, and it's like they're trying to soften. Once they soften up the men and get the men out the picture, so that men no longer have a say so without coming off as hostile or aggressive or toxic. Once the men are out the way, now they can focus on changing the minds of the women, which they already have in a way, because they've got it to where women pretty much hate men and kind of blame men for everything. So once you got the men taken care of and you got the women going at the men, the only ones that are left are the children. And we all know that children are incredibly impressionable. So you put a few influencers on social media like TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, and these influencers are brainwashing, putting out grooming videos. They're doing grooming tactics that are becoming trends, and now you got all of these impressionable minds following these influencers that are leading them down a path of destruction, there's really nowhere to turn. And then you got some places that are signing bills that are completely against the parents having any say so in the children's lives. So it seems to be a whole plan being orchestrated within society. And it's, at the end of the day, it's just good versus evil. And it's like people aren't waking up fast enough to realize what's going on.
In the house that I grew up in, it's like, okay, get your cry out, give that its moment. But once it's done, keep moving.
That's right.
We're not going to sit and dwell in sorrow. We're not going to sit and dwell in anger. We're going to give those emotions the moment that they deserve. We're going to respect those emotions. But then we're going to get up and continue moving, because it's not about the fall. You can fall 1,000,000 times. You get up 1,000,001. That's the way I was raised.
Me too.
Yeah, like, all right, that hurt. Go ahead, cry.
Now they pamper. Oh my God, and
trigger warnings. What the hell is a trigger warning?
Yes, exactly.
It's just when I just don't know when the world became so sensitive. Like comedians can't tell jokes no more.
No.
Like, everybody's offended. It's a joke. It's a comedian.
The world became sensitive when this whole cancel culture came about. Like, if you say anything that affects a group of people, then you're viewed as I'm gonna say enemy, for lack of better words. You're viewed as an enemy to everyone, because that group of people that you offended are going to herd up more sheep-minded people, and they're going to also feel sympathy for that group, because they're going to be crying, and you know what I'm saying. Y'all get it. Y'all know what cancel culture is.
Right. It's a joke. You're not supposed to take it serious. It's a joke.
Right.
His literal job is to joke
about everyone.
About everyone and everything. And people want to get offended and like, don't say that. That's triggering. Oh my God. You know what?
Yeah.
Sit in your house by yourself.
Exactly.
It annoys me.
I mean, anything can trigger you. A light can trigger you. A smell can trigger you. So, I mean, we got to walk on eggshells. Well, that's what they want us to.
That's what they want us to do.
But
my generation, there were no trigger warnings. Okay, you got up and you kept moving. That's kind of what it has to be.
We was kicked outside. We would come inside before the lights go down.
Exactly
that. We got bumped.
That's a fact. When I was growing up, it wasn't no crying. It wasn't no running, telling, oh, that person offended me. Or nah, you get up and handle your business. You ain't finna sit around and mope and expect people to feel sorry for you. Nah, man, that's not life. Life isn't like that. Life isn't fair. You know, no matter how much we want it to be fair, life just isn't fair. Like, if life was fair, we all would be billionaires. But everyone has a different work ethic. Everyone has a different mindset. Everyone has a different view on how they see life and society. So this whole cancel culture and what's going on in today's time, man, it's pitiful, to be honest with you.
Bumps and bruises, we just washed it off with the hose outside.
Yeah, you was good. Come on, man.
It's totally different times.
We need to get back to them days. I feel like I feel like parents have almost forgotten what the role of a parent is.
Amen.
It's like, okay,
lost control.
If your little boy comes to you and says, "Daddy, I want to be a girl," and you just let him rock with that,
Right.
He's 5.
Right. And where did he get that from?
If you let this 5-year-old boy decide to eat candy all day, he's going to do that.
Exactly.
Like, when did it become a good idea to let a 5-year-old, let a 6-year-old, let a 12-year-old make a life-changing decision for themselves?
Right.
When did that happen?
Right.
Like, I don't understand that. I don't get that.
And to medicate these young kids.
And that right there was the part that he was catching flack over. He's right. He's absolutely right. Anyone that feels like that teenagers and young kids have the right or the authority to just say, hey, I want to have a surgery to remove my breast, or I want to have a surgery to remove my private parts, or kids don't even have the right to walk into a store and buy a drink without ID. You can't vote without an ID. You can't drive without an ID. You can't. There's a lot of things that you need IDs for, and you have to reach a certain age. So for you, if you find that it's okay for a kid to have life altering surgeries at the age of 12, 10, at their most impressionable ages, what type of parent are you? If you're letting your child make decisions like that, what type of parent are? No, you don't sit there and tell yourself that you're a loving, caring parent, because a loving, caring parent would talk some sense into their child and say, hey, this is something that you may later on regret, and it may make matters worse. So let's not, resort to these permanent, life-changing decisions. Let's give it some time. And if you still feel that way when you're 18 or so, then we can revisit this situation. But right now, as a kid, still in junior high, still in high school, middle school, I'm not gonna let you do that, because you may grow out of this mindset. So parents, you need to be loving in that way. You shouldn't let the kids make the decisions. That's your household, those are your children. And you just going along with whatever they want to do is not good parenting. It's not.
Kids that are 5, 6 growing up and knowing that it affects their brain, it affects their organs, it makes them sick, but they're not allowed to do drugs, they're not allowed to do alcohol.
Right.
We can medicate them up.
He can't drive a car yet, but he can decide his sex.
Right, right. What sexual orientation, and he can cut up his pee-pee, and that, to me, that makes no sense whatsoever.
And I don't know if this is true, but I heard a rumor that they either passed or are trying to pass a law in LA that states if your child comes to you and asks to do some of these things and you say no, they can take your kid from you.
Yeah, that's true. Just passed in California.
That makes no sense.
They want us to have no control over our children.
But I don't get it.
In schools.
So you take away the control of the parent and you grant more authority and power to the kids. While you all are steady grooming these kids and leading them on a path of destruction. So they have no worry or no concern about their parents. They just out here living life freely as they possibly can at the teenage point in their lives. Man, that makes no sense. That's a disaster. Man, our country is doomed if that's the case. There will be no future generations after Gen Z. If it is, it's probably one more after Gen Z after that. How can there be future generations if this is the path we're headed?
I don't get it.
Hospitals, libraries.
Yeah.
They just want to manipulate. You got to understand, when they're so young and they're already, that's
impressionable.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And from them, they're going to believe what you say. I mean, we say Santa Claus is real, the Easter Bunny.
It. Like,
right, exactly.
Like,
they know what they're doing.
Remember who you're dealing with. Like I can't take credit for it, but I heard somebody say one time, he's like, all right, if your son comes to you and says, Daddy, I want to be a girl. Ask your son, what is a girl?
That's a good one.
What is he going to do? He's going to say, well, he might want to play with dolls. All right, you want to play with dolls. Fine, play with dolls.
Right.
But you're a boy
right.
playing with dolls.
That's
I
right.
want to wear pink. All right, cool, wear pink. But you're a boy
That's right.
wearing pink.
I was a town boy. I still love boy sneakers, and I love my baseball cap. Doesn't mean I want to be a man.
Right.
I just like...
Style preference is
That's
one thing.
Right.
Gender selection is
but
a
I like
whole
playing
other
sports
thing.
too. Doesn't mean that I should become a boy.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So, yeah, I'm glad we touched on that. We
we
totally
living
went off topic, but I love
That's facts, man. And there was nothing in that video that deserved an apology. Nothing at all. So let me see if I can find the apology. We're gonna check that out. We're gonna check out the apology if I can find it.
Now, there's been a
I don't know why this stuff's moving so slow now. All right, we're just gonna check it out like that. Neo takes back apology over transphobic comments. Hopefully this shows the apology as well, and not just his response for taking the apology back.
big plot twist on this next story. So let's start from how the story began earlier today. It was just a day after an interview surfaced of singer superstar Neo taking a stance against medically transitioning kids. He got the backlash, the predictable backlash, and there seemed to be a grovelling apology issued. These were some of the words after much reflection.
Okay, so yeah, here is the apology that was issued. Now I can barely see that. After much reflection, I like to express my deepest apologies to anyone that I may have hurt with my comments on parenting and gender identity. I've always been an advocate for love and inclusivity in the LGBTQ community, so I understand how my comments could have been interpreted as insensitive and offensive. Gender identity is nuanced, and I can honestly admit that I plan to better educate myself on the topic so I can approach future conversations with more empathy. At the end of the day, I lead with love and support of everyone's freedom of expression and pursuit of happiness. Now, nothing he just said in that interview needed an apology. He didn't say nothing offensive. He just shared his perspective and shared his opinion that everyone rightfully has. There's nothing wrong with free speech. So for his publicist to feel inclined to release an apology shows how they're trying to impose this stuff on us. It's like what he shared his opinion. Why does there need to be an apology? Like, our society does not revolve around the LGBTQ community. It's okay to say what he said. It's okay to express heterosexual love. It's okay to express your love for normal behaviors. Share your love for the opposite sex. Everything doesn't have to revolve around LGBTQ and trans. And this is not a slight against them or anything like that, but this is just the truth. You shouldn't be held under fire or face backlash for expressing your opinion and giving your perspective.
Reflection, I like to express my deepest apologies to anyone that I may have hurt with my comments on parenting and gender identity. Goes on about how much he's supported the LGBTQIA plus community, how he's been insensitive and offensive, and he says gender identity is nuance. And I can honestly admit that I plan to do better, educate myself on the topic. So he got a massive backlash for the apology because it was weak, it was spineless, it was unneeded, almost submitting himself.
Are you guys peeping the way that she's reading this? So much passion in her voice and trying to make it seem like something that it really isn't. a spinalist. He received so much backlash for his approach, and he deserved it. And man, get out of here. Get out of here. This media propaganda is also a part of this whole ideology. It helps push this whole movement. All the media people are in on it. None of the media people are. None of the media outlets are truthful, and you should take none of them for their words.
Himself to some sort of re-education. Well, Kosha, here is the plot twist. He's now released a video taking back that apology, suggesting that it was the publicist's apology. This is how he really feels.
What's going on, loved ones? This is Neo. All right, listen. I normally don't give too much of a damn about what y'all think about what I do, what y'all have to say about what I say, whatever. I normally don't care because, like I said, opinions ain't special. Everybody got one. However, this is something I feel very strongly on, and I need y'all to hear this from the horse's mouth, not the publicist's computer. So check this out. First and foremost, I do not apologize for having an opinion on this matter. I am a 43-year-old heterosexual man raising 5 boys and 2 girls, okay? That's my reality. Now, if my opinion offended somebody, yeah, sure, I apologize for you being offended because that wasn't my intention. My intention is never to offend anybody. However, I'm entitled to feel how I feel. I'm absolutely entitled to feel how I feel the same way you are entitled to feel how you feel. I ain't asked nobody to follow me. I ain't asked nobody to agree with me. I was asked a question, and I answered the damn question, okay? I have no beef with the LGBTQIA plus community whatsoever. I ain't got no beef with y'all. Do whatever the hell it is you want to do. Do what you want to do with your kids. However, somebody asked my opinion on this matter, and this is how I feel. I will never be okay with allowing a child to make a decision that detrimental to their life. I will never be okay with that. I don't care. I definitely plan to educate myself a little bit more on this matter. However, I doubt that there's any book anywhere or any opinion that somebody's going to tell me that's going to make me okay with letting a child make a decision like that. That's just period, point blank, and that's how I feel. If I get canceled for this, then you know what? Maybe this is a world where they don't need a Neo no more, all right?
I'm proud of that man. Stand on business, Neo. Stand on business, man, like a man. Don't let these folks back you in no corner, man, for expressing your opinion. Say it with your chest, man. Say it with your chest. That's how you say it, man. Stand on business, man. Stand on what you said. Yeah, you know, you don't need no apology for that. I don't even want to see. I don't want to see no more of this because she's gonna say some things that tries to make him look like a bad person. She's gonna try to paint a negative picture. She's gonna try to put him in a negative light. So I don't even want to look at that anymore. You know, that's done. We're done with that. We're done with that. Neo, salute, man. Salute to Neo. Salute to Neo. That's how you stand on business. That's how you stand on business. Come out and say, nah, I didn't issue that apology. I said what I said. And I know he threw in the, oh, I need to educate myself a little bit more, but that was bullshit. His publishers probably put that in his ear, like, hey, Neo, you need to, educate yourself on this, that, and you're like, yeah, sure. Maybe I need to educate myself, but at the end of the day, my opinion stands. I don't think it's nothing that can be taught, said, or anyone that can nobody can educate themselves to bring themselves to the conclusion that kids should have the authority to go have surgery done to make life-altering decisions without their parents' consent. That will never be okay. And people should stop protesting and advocating for kids to be chopped up in the surgery rooms, all due to gender ideology. Come on, people. Let's do better as a country. Let's stand on what's right. Let's bring back morals and principles. Everything doesn't have to be progressive. Leave genders alone. Male, female, men, women, boy, girl. Nothing was wrong with that. That didn't need to be altered. Have innovation everywhere else, tech space, banking, finances, AI, all that. But something as natural as male, female, man, woman, boy, girl, that does not need to be altered. Y'all get in the comments, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Do y'all think that Neo should have went with the apology, or do y'all think he was right and standing on what he initially said? Y'all get in the comments, man. Y'all let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.